Good day, good people. I'm Dr. Johnny Pierce, but you can just call me Johnny, and this is the Actually Well podcast. And today I am with
Siria Minaya.
Siria, and I work together at Insight and Action Therapy. And when I talk about being on a team, she's one of my members that are on that team. She's actually my neighbor. We have offices right next to each other, and today we're borrowing our colleague Matt's office because he is on the mend. Get well soon, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
But Siria, what exactly are you doing these days when it comes to helping people in and around wellness?
Big question.
Always at the beginning.
Yeah. Got to break that ice somehow, right? I don't know. I guess I just see my clients, meet them where they're at. Something that I definitely make sure is part of kind of the initial conversations are like, where are your strengths? What are the things that you feel like you do well? What are the things that like fill your cup? How are you taking care of yourself, like in all these other realms? And oftentimes that's asking about like physical health. Something that's like interesting that I have found myself asking a lot of my like middle-aged men that come in is like, hey, you say you have low energy, you find yourself fatigued, frustrated, like just not feeling like yourself. Instead of us jumping to like depression, anxiety, like, have you gotten your testosterone checked?
Ooh.
Like, and that one has been a really big one. And even if they go and it's not like outside of the normal range, they'll usually get some feedback from their doctors. And I've had some clients even say that like, oh, I went to get my T checked. I realized like it's super low. And I've been like taking, whether it's like the injection, the gel, whatever supplements. And they're like, I just feel so much better.
Amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, who do you typically see as clients?
I'd say across the board. I work with as young as like 15 or so. I do like working with teenagers and families. I'm bilingual, English and Spanish. So the Spanish population and where we live, there is quite a big Spanish population.
Okay.
I work a lot with the LGBTQ and like queer community. I myself am part of it. So connecting with those clients at that level. And I have different clients, like I said, of varying genders. I do enjoy working with older men. There's something about the dynamic, and
I feel seen right now because at 40, you become one of these men.
And I love it. And then I work with individuals in varying places in like the court system, the judicial system. Actually just finished an evaluation with an individual. Okay. So yeah, kind of a little bit all over the place.
And I think that kind of diversity is why our team is so awesome. We got almost everybody on our team has at least 3 or 4 particular populations that they do well with, that they concentrate and market towards. You have done some pretty cool things in the time that I've known you here. You once had a group with our good friend Katie.
Oh, yeah.
You guys were working with some folks in that group. What was that group about again?
So those were teenagers. So myself and Catherine Lutz, great clinician.
I'm getting her on an interview. It's going to happen.
Top tier. We just both had a lot of adolescent clients that were struggling in similar ways. And a lot of those struggles, though within like the realm of normal teenage behavior, were things like, hey, school is really stressful and I get so overwhelmed that it prevents me from actually doing my schoolwork. I'm having these challenges with my friends and I don't know like how to fix it. And like, I don't know how like my engagement is making it better or worse. I am having big feelings and I don't know how to deal with them in like a healthy way or a safe way. And we just, after like conversing about it, we said, hey, why do we start this group? Because we have the kiddos for it. And not only is it kind of like we're teaching everyone kind of similar skills, but bring them all in an environment where they can teach and support each other in a way that's kind of like outside of their friends and their social groups and social circles, because those are awesome, very beneficial.
But you can't get stuck in roles there.
Exactly. And like expectations, and it's I think similar to how people can open up to us as therapists. Like, it's easier to open up to a stranger.
Sometimes,
and like those other kids, even though fellow teenagers, most of them didn't go to the same school, definitely didn't have the same social circles. So that like anonymity made it easier for them to be like more vulnerable. So yeah.
I remember when you guys started that group, I was so happy for both of you because you two started just after I did here at Insight. I started in I got hired in July of 2021 and started seeing clients regularly in September. And it wasn't long after that you two started. So for you to be pretty young in your career, but also have that mindset to like, hey, we noticed this need and we're going to combine our efforts to address this need. Very excited about you guys in that regard. And then I don't know if you've kept track of how many times I've said this, but you always have the most interesting cases.
Yeah.
We have a team meeting on Fridays, the second Friday of every month. And then we have a team meeting the last Tuesday of the month. And nobody has more dynamic or interesting cases than you.
Yeah.
But also, it's pretty obvious to me that nobody is more willing to say like, hey, help me think about this. And I really appreciate that about you, because sometimes people start and they are a know-it-all and they got it all figured out. Yeah. Can't nobody tell them anything. They don't ask any questions to get themselves in some kind of bad spot. And then they want you to like jump in and like make everything better. And one thing about Craig and Cindy, they put our team together really well. And that's just not something that's come up here. And the fact that you continually like will bring up things, you've actually gave us some education about different topics within those team meetings. We're not the only ones you've educated, though. You've been doing things out in the community, right?
Yeah. What have I been doing? Sometimes I forget because like it becomes so, normal or just part of my routine.
You did some training earlier this year, right? That you and your partner, I believe, were.
Yes, actually. Thank you for reminding me.
I tried.
An example. I did genuinely forget that. Last December, my partner and we came together. So she specializes a lot with trauma and complex trauma. And we both kind of work with and have a lot of like information and knowledge in like the kink and like non-monogamous spaces. And she more, but we were both noticing that we've had clients come to us saying, hey, I want to practice in these kind of like more unconventional lifestyles, but I have these experiences related to my past that I want to make sure I'm doing it safely. I want to make sure I'm doing it for the right reasons. I want to make sure that I don't unintentionally hurt myself, hurt someone else.
Right.
And so we kind of put together this 101 class of really like how to practice kink, and when we're like working through complex trauma, kind of like the do's and don'ts, things to look out for, things that are kind of red flags of when we should kind of stop, pause, take care of ourselves. And we gave that demonstration, or the presentation, I should say. We did it over at the Expo Center over here for free. They were doing like kind of a sex convention. So we're like, oh, very appropriate setting for that. What a good
space for it, right?
Yeah, sex therapy at a sex convention. Who would have thought? So we did that presentation, and that was pretty rewarding. That was my first like presentation ever, and then so we did that one weekend, and we actually presented the same information or kind of the similar presentation 2 weekends later at an online continuing education kind of event. So that was all very new. Nice. It was definitely rewarding, and I think it's a reflection of at least my approach to therapy, which is, hey, there's kind of like the traditional like, oh, what's going on? What are the things that are wrong, right? I hate saying that, but
well,
like
so that's why I'm doing this
it makes my skin crawl a little bit.
Our field has been so quick to go to pathology, and so quick to call things problematic and call things wrong, and it shuts down conversations because we're leading with judgment. We're not leading with curiosity. That it sounds like a question, but it's not really a question, because now I'm making you evaluate.
There's the assumption that there is wrong.
Yeah. So it's so much more informative when we actually just try to get to know our clients for whatever their life is and what areas they may want to change or improve without necessarily pathologizing it immediately. So yes, I'm glad that we share that. We share that in our talks about different things we're doing with clients. Now, something that I also have been curious about in my interviews is, what are you doing, if anything, your own wellness journey that you might want to share?
So I, like many other therapists, am also in therapy.
Really?
Shocker. So I do that. Just kind of work with the things that I have to always be growing too. So yet again, like not always looking at the deficits, but looking at like growth, an accountability measure. I am very much on top of the best that I can be with my physical health and like being preemptive. So that was a value that I was brought up with, where my mom really instilled in us, it's better to take care of yourself than to let, your body and your mind kind of get to this dark place and then have to climb your way out of.
Shout out to mom.
And then really fostering the relationships that are quality. And, I think that's something we hear a lot, especially the older you get. And when you're younger, you're like, oh, okay, like, what am I going to lose all my friends? No, it's not about losing your friends, but it's about like figuring out who are the ones that matter and where do you want to invest that time. And part of that process for me also has been like investing that time more with myself and spending, instead of alone time, I call it quality time with me. And little things like I've kind of have this routine where I'll come home after work, I'll spend quality time with my partner. But then when it hits 10:30, I'm like, I just spend quality time with me. I gotta like do what I need to do, even if sometimes it's what I call like personal administrative stuff. Like I need to check my emails because then it makes me feel good that like, oh, I've checked off things from my list, do my chores, take care of my house, take care of my environment. That's how I show care for myself. And different kinds of like unwinding self-care stuff. One of mine that I share with my clients a lot that usually gets them to laugh is that I love playing solitaire on my iPad. Like in the silent, like quiet, or maybe I have the TV on with some sort of show that I've seen in the past before, but like playing the solitaire, just like it's enough mental stimulation and a puzzle and a challenge that I enjoy. I get that reward without it actually being straining.
Dig it. It's almost as if you saw the podcast I did about sleep and having a routine that helps you wind down. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. It's a pretty cool episode. I think we just hit 40 views on that one, so let's keep it going. But in addition to taking those actions to take care of yourself, I'm wondering from a bigger standpoint, how have you noticed your own identities impacting you? You mentioned that you happen to be in a particular community that you're Spanish speaking, like you're a therapist. You also shouted out mom, which, May is Mother's Day is coming up. So you better be ready. You better make sure you take care of mom. But like, how do you see those identities kind of coming together, intersecting and playing out, whether it's as a therapist or just kind of you living your own life?
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me, where we live, very, very much different cultures, very much different kinds of people, different ways of thinking. And I appreciate that so much because not only does it provide the opportunity to learn and understand things through a different perspective, but finding ways to connect with people, even if it on the surface doesn't seem like we would connect, Because by the identities of, right, being part of like the Latin American community, being part of the LGBTQ community, being my mother was an immigrant, so there's like that aspect too. Like I think first generation, right? So like first gen, like all these different perspectives definitely help shape who I am today and my values, and understanding the world and understanding people. So like I a lot of times will have clients come in, whether they themselves are immigrants or maybe they're first or second generation, and you know, as they're talking, I'll say, oh, I'm sure maybe you had this experience, or maybe you grew up in a household that emphasized these values. And they're like, oh, yeah, like that's definitely true. And I'm like, yeah, well, it not the same, but I've had those experiences. I understand where that comes from. And then from there, I go, help me understand what makes yours unique, though. Like yours different.
Because I'm not the knower.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, there may be some things overlap, but our Venn diagram is not a circle.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes too, when we're so multifaceted in that way, especially with identity, there are these points where things will kind of conflict. And that's, I think a lot of people don't talk about that, where one part of our identity is emphasizing this value and another part of our identity is emphasizing this value. And then you're like, I can't necessarily honor them both at the same time. How do I move forward?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that part, because that's something I'm hoping comes out of these interviews, is that people start to wrestle with things from differing perspectives, because no matter how you see yourself or even how the world sees you, there's more to you than meets the eye. And if you don't spend any time thinking about that, if you don't spend any time investing in that, sitting with that, resting with it, then you don't get to make real sound decisions, because you are mostly in a reactive space.
Oh, yeah.
And we both know that that's how a lot of our clients find themselves frustrated, is that they react to something, or they have an impulsive behavior come out, and then now they're dealing with the consequences of that, whether that's something that got them in trouble with the law, or something that ruined a relationship, or something that complicated a job. But in any event, if they weren't able to sit with themselves, then we maybe try to foster that by creating the therapeutic space that we do. And we hope that they then take that outside of our office, because that's where life is happening.
Yes. Yeah. I often, especially when someone's new to therapy, I'll often equate it to like getting a personal trainer and whatever your fitness goal is. Because how we build muscle, right, is we do an exercise and our muscles are tearing. You're actually, causing injury. And it's, of course, an appropriate amount of injury. Too much, then we're handicapped.
Right.
Too little, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
So you get the appropriate amount of injury, then your body takes the nutrition that we're consuming, the protein, the amino acids, all that good stuff, takes it to repair, and then that new muscle is stronger from it. And so that's, I mean, a direct correlation to therapy. And then I also bring in the fact that, hey, whatever your fitness journey is, lose weight, gain weight, tone, muscle mass, who cares, right? If you just go to the gym, or you just go and meet with your personal trainer, and then you literally don't do anything outside of session, or what's going to happen?
Right.
You're probably, I mean, maybe you'll hit your fitness goal. It'd be a very small percentage of people, but I mean, yeah, if you want to take that gamble, go ahead. But the chances grow exponentially the more we do things like outside of those like fitness sessions. So same deal with
50
therapy.
Minutes to an hour is not going to make everything better. It's got to be seen as a training ground of sorts, where the game plan is, reviewed, and in some cases is also like set up for the next time. And then you go out into the world and you try to live it out to the best of your ability, recognizing as you go, oh, these obstacles came up along the way. I didn't recognize them beforehand. Obviously, we got to take a step back, see these obstacles for what they are, figure out how we're going to overcome them so that we can execute that big old plan that we had. And all of it ends up being tied together. But what you just talked about regarding the muscle literally ripping, that's talking about stress.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that has frustrated me at times as a therapist is this like stress-free life as a goal. And I try to explain, like, listen, we can't do that. Like, the only time that we're stress-free is when we're actually dead. Because stress makes our heart beat.
Literally.
It makes our lungs function. It makes our brain fire. So yes, it's definitely one of those things where reframing what stress can mean and what growth looks like, because growth literally looks like being uncomfortable from time to time. It looks like stretching. It looks like being unfamiliar and out of your comfort zone. Like, you can't really grow in your comfort zone. But the only way to grow your comfort zone is by becoming somebody who's willing to learn.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think that you have shared a number of things that people will be able to like tap into. I'm wondering, how do people follow you? How do they connect with you? If somebody is looking to maybe see you as a client, like, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So like most therapists in the area, I have a Psychology Today page,
which I'll put a link in the description.
Yes. And with my name being Siria Minaya, surprisingly, very, very easy to find. There's not a lot of Siria Minayas in the area. So
how about that?
I appreciate my mom for that one too.
I'm not like everybody.
Yeah. So you can find me there. Let's see. Unlike most millennials, I'm not really on social media.
Ain't
like
nothing
that.
Wrong with that.
But then that's also yet again like a self-care thing. But I think probably the best way professionally to get in contact with me, Psychology Today. I have a LinkedIn. And I have been playing around with the idea of like creating more kind of presentations, continuing education stuff.
Okay.
So like, if that's something I do, then finding another space to be present online, I know is necessary in this 21st century.
Yeah, it is. But I think we all got to go at our own pace. Like, I've been told for years, like, oh, you need to get a website. And I'm like, I don't really feel like getting a website. But yeah, it's hard to know exactly what the best format is or the best space is. I think you got to do what's comfortable for you. And the fact that you're doing continuing education material and the fact that you're doing actual speaking events in person for free, like, that's an amazing resource for the community. So people will catch up with you when they get a chance to. And like I said, I'll put the link to her Psychology Today, and with your permission, the link to your LinkedIn as well, so you can connect with Siria. I get to see her almost every day I'm here. I'm here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and she's my neighbor. We also share space over in the office in Fairfax. Because at one point in time, I was the only person on the team that was going to Fairfax. And now we're 3 deep over there.
Yeah, my schedule is getting pretty full over there. I will say the furniture is way nicer. There's a reclining seat that I may or may not take naps in. So
nothing wrong with that. I think I reclined it for the first time last Sunday.
It's nice. Yeah.
But that being said, thank you for watching the pod. I would love for you to click like. I would love for you to share. And if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. And if you want to hit that notification bell, it'll let you know when the next one drops. But, as usual, I just want you to be well.